Good afternoon and welcome to the Senior Hour, which is sponsored by Comfort Keepers in Home Care and Providence Holy Cross Medical Center. I'm Barbara Cochran with my co-host,
Kevin MacDonald,
on your hometown station 98.1 FM, AM 1220 KHTS. This is a show for, about, and by seniors, giving information to enhance one's quality of life. And speaking of quality of life, our first guest is Susie Riggs from BioRecharge. Welcome. It's good to see you again.
Hi, good to see you again,
Seems like
Barbara.
ages.
I know. It's about once a month now.
It seems like so much longer than that, you know?
Time. I would like time to slow down, personally. It feels like time is just flying. Ugh, it's too much.
I could not agree more.
Yeah.
It's flying too fast for me.
It is, right? I agree. I'm like, wait, where did this last month go? What happened?
Disappeared. So, tell us about BioRecharge.
Okay, so we're a wellness business, wellness center. Unlike anything that most people have ever encountered, we really are all about about technology. Our main modality is called the energy enhancement system that recharges our cells. So we're really focused on foundational wellness, starting at the cells. We don't touch anything in our center that isn't, revolves around that. So we're not about symptom chasing. We're about really getting to the root cause of people's wellness issues. So a little different.
That is. How did it get started?
It got started kind of out of my frustration.
Really?
So yeah, it started with back when my daughter was really young. She was having sinus infections, kind of nonstop sinus infections.
Whoa.
And they kept putting her on antibiotic after antibiotic after antibiotic. She'd be off of it for like 3 days, and it would come right back again. And the light bulb went on and went, this isn't working. She's now been on 4 rounds of antibiotics.
Something's going on.
Yeah, there's something else. Why aren't we looking for the root cause of what is causing these sinus infections? So I was like, there's got to be another way. So I went and found a homeopath, and in her genius, she says, take her off of dairy. Okay. And she was only 16 months old, so taking her off of dairy was kind of a shocker, because back then your children have to drink milk. It's a big deal every day. They got to get their calcium. So okay, I took her off of dairy, which was a little abrupt for me, or didn't think she was ready for it. Either way, I took her off of dairy.
Probably for her too.
Yeah, it was, because she was
Yes.
used to drinking her milk, and we transitioned to something else, and lo and behold, not another sinus infection after that. It blew my mind. I went, oh my gosh, here she was taking antibiotic after antibiotic. I knew that was wrecking her little immune system, her microbiome, her gut, everything. And all I had to do was take her off of dairy. To this day, she still has a dairy intolerance. But the doctors would have never told me that, So it was, that was really the path.
They didn't know.
Apparently, they did not
No,
know. Yeah.
they obviously didn't know.
Yeah, because I'm assuming he wouldn't have told me if he knew. So yeah, that was the beginning of it all, and then from that point on, I've just kind of been disillusioned with Western medicine in the whole symptom chasing. They medicate. They burn or cut. That's it. That's really, they're amazing for trauma care. I love it. There's nothing better than Western medicine for trauma care. But, for really getting to the root cause of our wellness issues, there are better paths, in my opinion. Of course, that is my opinion.
Sure. Can you share those paths?
Yeah. So at our center, again, like I said, the main one that really is the core of it all is the energy enhancement system. And what that does is it actually recharges our cells and allows our body to just start functioning better at a cellular level. And one of the main things that that our body decides to do when those cells have the optimal charge again, is that the body wants to start cleaning house. So it starts dispelling toxins like crazy. Well, we all live in a toxic soup nowadays, just, from the food, the water, the chemicals all around us, and what we're putting on, what's coming out of the sky. Literally everything is bombarding us. And our bodies were not built to deal with that level of toxicity. So we're seeing that people are coming down with a lot more fatigue, brain fog, inflammation, chronic disease is skyrocketing. So we have a protocol that like I said, the core of it is the energy enhancement system. And along with that, we also help increase circulation by a new piece of equipment we have called the Roll Shaper. And I should have brought a picture so you guys can understand it, because it's a little bit hard to explain. It has these rollers, and you just kind of lean against it, and there's a video that goes with it, and it works through 18 different body parts, and it gives a really strong lymphatic flush. Now, why is that even important? Why does the lymphatic even work? Why is that a big deal? Because without that movement, that lymphatic movement, these toxins are stuck, basically. It's cellular sludge that's just sitting there without moving out. So because a lot of us are sedentary nowadays, we're all stuck in front of the TV and our computer and sitting all day long, we're not getting a lot of lymphatic movement. So this helps get that flush moving. Then after you do that, you go into the energy enhancement system and you do a session in there. That recharges the cells. That helps give basically the energy for that lymphatic flush to push hard and get out. And then we've got another product that increases cellular signaling. And now why that's important is because our cells rely on signaling. They have to communicate with each other somehow. And as we age, the cellular communication really drops.
Well, now you said a product.
That's actually a product. Yeah.
Is it a pill?
It's a liquid that you drink every day, super easy to take, but it's molecules. It's a biotech company that created this product. So it's like nothing I've ever seen, because it's actually replenishing something that's already native to our body. They somehow figured out a way to create this product that's, like I said, it's native to the body. They're molecules. They're called redox cell signaling molecules. And it replenishes what our body naturally loses through age. So every 10 years that we age, about 10%, we lose about 10% of this redox cell signaling molecules. So for instance, like when kids are little, they scrape their knee, holy cow, their little boo-boo, regenerates super fast. But forget it. How long does it take you to regenerate, when you scrape or cut your finger or...
Forever.
Right.
And I'm a little bit less than forever, Barbara.
Crazy?
Just a little less.
Because you're little, So it's like, we're talking two ends here. Babies and children regenerate in what seems like days. And, and then I've seen it with my own dad. When we had his surgery, he did a really bad thing to his hand. And I put him in the energy enhancement system. I gave him some of the redox cell signaling molecules, and he regenerated. That thing healed so fast, it made my head spin. I couldn't believe. And that was when I was sold. I was like, wait, I already know. He's 92. He does not heal quickly. Nobody does at that age. It's just part of aging.
Wow.
So this replenishes that portion of it, the cell signaling. And so basically, you're drinking molecules that are telling your body, hey, wait, the signal is back. So your immune system can come in and deal with the right things. The circulation improves, your hormones improve. It just does like a whole body, because our whole body relies on this signal. So it's insane. It's really crazy what it does.
Well, it's interesting. A few days ago, I dropped something on the kitchen floor, and I got down on my hands and knees, and my knees.
Ouch.
Oh, I couldn't believe the pain on my knees. And my daughter came in. I said, get me the pillow quick so I can put my knees on the pillow.
Right.
I couldn't believe that's the first time it's happened to me.
Wow.
But it was on the floor,
Floor.
the kitchen,
Yeah.
which is a wooden floor.
Yeah.
And oh my goodness, my knees were so sore. And my daughter and my granddaughter had to help pick me up because I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Because of the pain. It hurt so much.
That's hard.
Barbara, we have devices for you. There's some picker-upper things. We'll help you with those.
Picker-upper, the little stick.
Yes.
With the stick.
You're
with
not
the
getting
arm
down
on
on
the
your
end.
hands and knees.
Yeah, that's like a $15 item. We need to get you one of those.
Well, I did the same thing this morning. I was cleaning strawberries, and I dropped one, and it went underneath the oven. And I thought,
geez.
oh, goodness.
Great, now
I
what?
can't let it get in there. So I went in and got my pillow, and
She learned. She's like, I'm gonna get
I
the pillow
learned a
this
lesson.
time.
I did. I got that pillow, and I kneeled, and I got that strawberry from underneath the and I thought, you're an idiot, Barbara.
But you were able to get up after
But I
that,
was
right?
able to get up.
That's
yes.
huge. A lot of people your age cannot get up from there. So
Well, I was
good for
fortunate to
you.
have the kitchen counter to hold on
Still.
to pull
That's awesome.
myself up,
You're
and I
in
thought,
such incredible
you
shape.
can't do that again,
Absolutely
Barbara.
incredible.
That's ridiculous.
That's
I
life.
thought,
It's life.
what if I couldn't have gotten up? No one was there.
Yeah.
My daughter hadn't arrived, and I'm thinking, oh my goodness, you idiot. Don't you ever do that again.
You could have left the strawberry there and maybe written a note and been
I
like,
know.
okay, I'm going to remind myself that strawberry's there for when someone
That's what I
arrives.
should have done.
We'll work on some stuff off air, Barbara. Don't you worry. Can we go back to the energy enhancement system so I can grasp it?
You want to
Because
grasp it.
I want
Do
to grasp
you
it
have
more.
any questions? How about that?
I mean, what is it? What is it like? Is it a tool? Is it as how does it work? I mean,
Okay.
is it a product, or is it talking through? Is it something with how's it touching the cells?
Great questions. I
Okay.
love these questions because I've talked so many times here that I kind of breeze over those things sometimes. So I'm glad that you're asking me this. So it's actually a technology that creates an energy in the room. So when you walk into the room, there are recliners and a couple of beds in the room. And then there's these towers that have 6 computer screens on each tower. So there's actually 36 computer screens that are creating this energetic field. Now, this energetic field is the perfect coherent energy that our body relies on. It's what our body already produces. The mitochondria produce that. And another thing, as we age and with toxic environment, our mitochondria don't produce as much as it used to. So we're kind of in this really super low cellular energetic state, which is not good. So it creates that. You go in there, and through the law of synchronization, our body just synchronizes with it. Our body always wants to synchronize with the environment that we're in. Unfortunately, sometimes that environment is not ideal, like 5G and 6G. That's a really incoherent EMF. It's bad for us. You go into there and it's the perfect coherent energy. It's what our body thrives on. So you have to spend some time in there and the body recharges. So the cells actually recharge themselves. So we're not forcing it. There's nothing touching you. You just lay down on a recliner, you take a nap. It's literally the
okay.
easiest therapy you could ever do.
Now I have a better picture.
Yes.
And these sessions are an hour, 2 hours.
They're a couple hours because it takes our body about an hour to fully synchronize. And then that second hour is where we're getting about 70% of the benefits. So
Wow.
we do encourage people to come in a couple hours. Some, like my father-in-law who had cancer, was doing overnights. He was there for 11 hours at a time.
Wow, I saw that on your website. Was the overnights? I didn't get it, but you're overnight in.
Exactly. You're
Immersed.
immersed in the
All right.
energy for 11 straight hours.
Wow.
Yeah,
Good
it's
heavens.
really incredible. And they're very powerful. That's where we see the most incredible things in a very short period of time because you're in there for so long. So for people like with cancer and really bad autoimmunes and things like that, we do encourage those overnights. I mean, cancer you don't mess around with.
Well,
You better get on it.
I have cancer here,
I know you do.
and I've been using the chemotherapy gel 5 nights a week, leaving off 2 nights, and
Okay. And then they'll
and
retest
then they will take another piece out
and
and
see.
test it and see if it worked. If it didn't work, then I'm going to have it cut off.
I
Or
would love for you to come visit me, and I'd love for that energy to be able to help you from the inside out.
so that would help this then.
Absolutely. My father healed his body of stage 4 esophageal cancer. They said he was going to die. This was over a year ago. And he has got no active cancer in his body whatsoever. Now, to full disclosure, he did 4 rounds of chemo initially. He hasn't done any more chemo. He hasn't done any chemo in months and months and months now. He did some ivermectin and he changed to a keto diet. And those 4 things, including the energy enhancement system, that's how he cured his body. He healed himself. Everything else helped the body to be able to do the work.
Yeah.
But he healed his body. His body healed itself. Because the body wants to always be in homeostasis. It wants to be in balance. It's always looking. Just like when we cut ourselves, the body naturally knows it wants to heal itself. It can heal itself of everything and anything if you give it what it needs.
It's interesting. Well, I've beaten cancer twice,
Yeah, you're incredible.
so I'm going to beat it again.
You absolutely are.
So maybe I'd better visit your studio.
I would love that. You know, Jerry and Carl. They come every Saturday night. They're addicted, and I know that they have invited you to come join them for an overnight. You should take them up on it.
Well, they're out of town right now, aren't they?
Yeah, well, only for the next couple weeks, I think. Great. And
So
then
it's
they're
one
back.
piece of the human puzzle, I guess, because how can we attack it? Because you even say it's not. You should see a physician if you need that type of work.
Trauma. Yeah, for
right.
trauma. You don't come to me.
Right.
Your arm's bleeding, and no, don't come to me. You can come to me for the recovery.
Right.
Absolutely. Come visit us, because that's going to heal it much faster. But for trauma care, yeah, we are not trauma care.
So do you suggest I come in for an overnight or come in for a couple of hours and see what this is?
Initially, I would say couple hours, because I would like to see how your body's going to react to the detox. So I
Okay.
rarely start somebody off on straight up overnight. A couple hours to see how you're doing, and then we can progress from there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I've got your phone number here,
Okay.
and I'll give you a call.
I
and
love it.
come in.
And are there studies about what you're doing? And
Yes, and you can find all the studies on the website. It's it's eesystem.com.
eesystem.com.
Yes, they have all the studies on there. So it's been around for 20 some odd years. It's not a
Okay,
new
nothing new,
technology.
right.
Not at all. Not new at all. So, and the testimonials, they've got a load of testimonials. I mean, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. Because again, it's been around for over 20 years.
Right. And when did you start your center here?
I opened my center about a year ago.
Okay,
Yeah.
great.
Yep, initiated by my father-in-law who got cancer.
So what are your business hours?
We are open every day except for Wednesday and Sunday from 10 to 6. And then we do the overnights from 8:30 to 7:30 in the morning. So 8:30 at night to 7:30 in the morning. Those are every night.
Wow. So
Yeah.
you're open from what, during the
10
day?
to 6.
10 to 6.
And then we close for a little while, and then we're open from 8:30 p.m. to 7:30. And we're not necessarily open. You can't walk in the door. You have to make an appointment for all of
Right.
it. But yeah, we do. We accept overnights every night.
And sum up your mission of your center. What's the mission of your center?
The mission is to help people to heal themselves at a foundational level. That is my true mission. I have a really strong desire. I've had it for a while. I closed my supplement business down that I felt was kind of more symptom chasing, and then I opened up this new business, and it's heart centered. I really feel that that's my personal mission, is to help people find ways to heal their bodies that are different, that
All
are
right.
more holistic.
Cool. And we're talking with Susie Riggs, BioRecharge. Give the website again.
It's biorecharge.net, and the
BioRecharge.
phone number is 661-206-2858.
All right.
2858 or
Yes.
57?
2858.
You put a 7 down here.
Well, then
All right, we got the phone number corrected? All right, we
Yes.
need to take a break now. I'm Kevin MacDonald with my co-host, Barbara Cochran, on your hometown station, 98.1 FM, AM 1220, KHTS.
Welcome back to the Senior Hour. I'm Barbara Cochran with my co-host
Kevin MacDonald.
on your hometown station, 98.1 FM, AM 1220, KHTS. And we're speaking with our next guest, Scott Hoolahan, who's the sale manager at Loan Depot. Not Home Depot, Loan Depot. Okay, so what is Loan Depot?
Well, Loan Depot is a residential home lender, so we're in the business of making that American dream come true for homeowners around the country. Right? We're one of the top residential lenders in the country and specializing in helping people to purchase their first home, their last home, their second home, or investment properties. So whatever those needs are, Loan Depot's in the business of trying to fulfill those.
Wow, that's a big job.
That is a big job.
Whoa, an enormous job.
So, Scott, how'd you get involved with all this? What's your background leading into all this?
You know what? So I started in the finance industry doing car loans. And I worked for General Motors and GMAC back in the day when they used to give out car loans. My first job was actually collecting on those loans. That was that was it was probably the best sales job I ever had. Right, to be able to either collect the payment or get somebody to pay for something they couldn't, or most times in LA, people want to keep their keys in their car. So, doing that without, getting them angry at me or having them threaten me was probably a pretty good place to learn sales skills. And did that for a couple of years. And I got myself into the sales and training back part of the business. Moved to Detroit. I often kind of reflect on that. My dad, when I told him I got that promotion, they were moving me to Detroit. He said, "Well, who did you upset?" I kind of scratched my head. I didn't understand what he was saying. When I got to Detroit, it all kind of came together. But it was a great experience, and that's where I got introduced really to the retail mortgage side of the business, because GM and GMAC had purchased GMAC Mortgage at the time. So I traveled the country teaching loan officers sales skills, presentation skills, and then at one point that kind of morphed into my mentor at the time saying, "You know what? Why don't you stop teaching people how to do it and go do it?" Right around 1998, I started, actually doing the retail customer lending business, and that's what I rose up through the ranks. I've done everything leading up to managing a sales force of 300 loan officers, 14
Whoa.
states.
Good heavens.
And today, I take great pride in really specializing in a niche in the mortgage business, and that's the reverse mortgage. And really, I take pride and passion in serving my senior customers and being a resource to that part of our community, which I spend a lot of time in different areas of my other part of my life with the Rotary Club, which is where I got the pleasure of getting to work with and meet Kevin. And, it's really just kind of over the years, it's evolved to really be the place I like to spend my time and effort in trying to help seniors take advantage of this program to age in place.
And that makes a lot of sense, because seniors many times don't have income, and they have a home, and there's investment in that home, and there's money to be pulled out to use, and that's what you do.
Yeah. And the number one reason I was so excited to be a guest here and looking forward to future opportunities is to help kind of dispel the myths, because a lot of times I think, especially for some of my more senior clients, there's a negative connotation that comes along with reverse mortgage, and there was certainly a time many years ago that there were some unscrupulous lenders that took advantage of homeowners, and it got a bad rap for all the right reasons. And then under the Reagan administration, that loan was deemed a non-recourse loan, which is important, and it got put under the advisement and the governance, if you will, of HUD. So that changed the dynamics of that loan forever, because now there's regulation, there's certain things that have to be done It's highly regulated. In fact, we've got quite a few loan officers on my team and in town, and there's only a handful of us that really are certified and specialize in the reverse mortgage, because it's a completely different animal from the normal mortgage that people are using
Right.
to buy a home.
And let's discuss that a little bit. I have a mortgage. I pay my mortgage. I did it the classic way for my home. When you say reverse mortgage, explain to the general audience here how that is different from I bought a home. I have a mortgage I paid every month. What is reverse?
Probably the best way to explain it is anytime you see this product advertised, they're gonna use an acronym, right? HECM. And that kind of encompasses the answer to your question. It's a home equity conversion mortgage. So it's taking the equity in your home and it's converting it to a mortgage that now pays you. Instead of you paying it, now it's going to pay you. And there's several options that a borrower can choose, a homeowner can choose in how that conversion happens. So
Okay.
the first place to start is eligibility, right? And in California, we're unique to a lot of states because you could do a reverse mortgage as young as 55. Most states, it's 62. And that's probably because in a lot of our communities, there are home values that far exceed the purchase price from when that person might have purchased, regardless of your age. Mm-hmm. So that's the first place to start. And then the second place is how much is your current mortgage in terms of the balance? And then how old are you relative to the value of the home? So those are the components that really come into play to decide how much of an equity conversion do you have, right? So obviously, the higher value the home, the older the senior, and the less amount that you own or owe, I should say, if anything, dictates that you could get more or less.
Oh, so my home is paid for. If I needed to have $10,000 all of a sudden, how would I qualify to get $10,000 through selling my home or getting the money out of it or what?
Yeah, so
how does that work?
That's really the beauty of, and where I start with consulting somebody like yourself, is my first question is, are you in the forever home? Is this the home that will suit your needs and you can age out here, right? So once
Yes,
I
it
find
would
out that
be.
that's the house, right? Because
Yes.
if it's not, then we probably should be having a completely different conversation. And we could talk
okay.
about that later or in follow-up sessions about how you could actually use a reverse mortgage to purchase a home. But to your question, how do you qualify? The first thing is, you said it, this is the house. This is where I want to stay. I'm comfortable here.
Right.
It's a one-story property. It's conducive to where your family is and where all the things you're most comfortable with. That's the house. The next part of this would be the fact that you said you don't owe anything on that home. And then depending on your age and a formula that's used, we would determine how much equity you would be eligible for. And you said, well, $10,000. So there is a limit to how much we can do on a reverse mortgage. So it would probably be more than that, but here's the nice thing. It can be given to you in the form of a line of credit. So you could get what you need today, and that line of credit would be available to you throughout the rest of the loan, and in most cases, that's going to grow. So what it is today, and this is kind of a unique feature because a lot of folks that are listening, and yourself, you may have had a home equity line of credit at some time in the past. Well, those lines of credit are available usually for a period of time, and then they stop being a line and they turn into a loan, and you've got to pay them back.
So, okay, so I would pay monthly payments to pay that loan off then.
Yeah, so thank you for asking, because that's the real dynamic of a reverse mortgage is no payments, right? So, because you mentioned when we first started talking, sometimes income is such that you might not be able to qualify for a traditional home line of credit. You may need money to pay for long-term care for a loved one, make improvements to this forever home, and the income, because you're on a fixed income, isn't there to qualify for those loans. That's the beauty of this loan, is that you're going to have access to your equity, and there is no payment, no monthly payment. And so then you say, well, okay, Scott, what's the catch? And this is what I want to emphasize. The reverse mortgage really has 4 key requirements of the senior, the homeowner who's going to live in that home forever.
Okay.
Stay there, live there. That's the number one. It's got to be your primary residence,
Yeah,
at least for 6 months and 1 day of the year. You could have a second home, nearby family or whatever, but this property that we're going to do the reverse mortgage on has to be your primary residence. And then the next 3 components are pretty much what I would call, we would say, well, that would be typical, right? You have to pay the property taxes. You have to pay the insurance, the homeowner's insurance.
Right.
And if there's HOA, you have to pay that, or maintenance to the property, you have to pay those. So those 3 things remain consistent no matter what,
Right.
whether you got a mortgage or not, right? You're going to pay the property taxes, you're going to pay insurance, you're going to pay your HOA dues, or you're going to maintenance the home. And as long as you're living in that home, there is no mortgage payment on the reverse mortgage. So whatever funds you get, whatever line of credit you get, no monthly payment. So now you've got access, that's the equity converting in the mortgage back to you.
Wow.
Back into cash for you.
Boy, that's very interesting. I didn't know that. And thank goodness I don't need $10,000. But if I did, I could get it through reverse mortgage on my home,
And
even though it's paid for.
yeah, and Barbara, that's why, again, why I wanted to come on and I get this great opportunity to speak with both of you, because it goes beyond that. So I don't need $10,000. Well, how about a living inheritance, right? So what I've done is I sat down with some of my clients, and they're in a position much like you. I don't need the money. I own my home free and clear. My income is such that I'm okay. But you might have a lot of equity in that home. And let's say you have a grandchild or a child whom might be struggling with debt, might have a college debt. Here's a big one, right, for grandkids. And they are going to be under that weight until they pay that off, right? And what an amazing situation to have someone like yourself be able to do what's called a living inheritance. You could do the reverse mortgage and gift to them monies to pay off their college debt. Or maybe even help them buy a home, become a homeowner now.
Interesting. Wow.
And Barbara, you keep using an example of 10,000, but Scott, what's your typical reverse mortgage? What's the range of when you're doing it?
In terms of the loan amount?
Right.
You
I'm
know
sure it's a
what?
large range, but what is that? What is a ballpark?
It could be anywhere from $100,000 all the way up to $500,000.
Because that's the equity in the home. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's okay.
Wow.
Yeah, and I
just wanted to share there was much more than that, and your typical
Yeah.
ones are not the smaller ones, but the larger ones, because they're using it for different purposes, whether it's for your grandchild, friends in debt, whatever you want to do with your life.
yeah.
Wow.
And there's I'm excited to be here and have the opportunity to come back because the topic really is has more depth to it. I can see where you kind of go, well, wow, and what we haven't even scraped the surface on is the different variations of what could a senior do, whether it's use the reverse to purchase a new home, and we are one of the few lenders that allows for a reverse second mortgage. So maybe you don't want to mess with that nice 2%, 3% rate. We'll talk more about that later.
We are going to talk about it in a minute. We need to take a break now. I'm Kevin MacDonald with my co-host, Barbara Cochran, on your hometown station, 98.1 FM, AM 1220 KHTS.
Welcome back to the Senior Hour. I'm Barbara Cochran with my co-host,
Kevin MacDonald,
on your hometown station, 98.1 FM, AM 1220 KHTS. And we're speaking with Scott Hoolahan, who's the sales manager at Loan Depot. And Kevin, you wanted to ask a few questions.
Scott, give me some. We're talking about the reverse mortgages, and I want you to share some scenarios of what makes sense for folks and how you've helped so many people because getting the reverse mortgage.
Absolutely. So I would say they probably fall into one of the following categories, right? It's going to be access funds and equity to be able to pay for long-term care for a loved one. Sometimes what I'm finding is my baby boomers, right, they weren't really introduced to long-term care insurance 20 and 30 years ago. It really wasn't a thing. But now those costs are starting to be a thing. And so they can access the equity through a reverse mortgage, stay in the home they're most comfortable in with their loved ones, and then tap that equity to be able to pay for in-home care, long-term care, whatever that might be, right? The next one would be, as I already mentioned, the living inheritance, right? In some way, they've decided that the equity in the home isn't needed by the heirs when they pass. So, maybe the heirs are doing okay and everybody's agreed that, that equity should be used for the senior to be able to do with what they want, right?
Right.
And they may want to fund a college education for a grandchild. They may want to help purchase a home, give that gift money, because let's face it, it's not likely that in 10 or 20 years home prices are going to go down. Taxes probably aren't going to go down. No. So if you have that opportunity to take a lump sum and help a loved one become a homeowner now, you're giving them such an amazing head start on life, right? And same with paying off one of these student loans or something of the sort. And then another use that I see is maybe the family has moved to different parts of the country, right? I've got a client where everybody moved to North Carolina. And they'd love to spend their summers there in North Carolina with the rest of the family. But this home here in Santa Clarita is still home. And this is where they're comfortable. This is where they want to age out. So they're using a reverse mortgage to take a lump sum and then go to North Carolina and purchase that second home for cash. So now they've taken that, reinvested it into real estate. They can go there 4 or 5 months out of the year, and then when the weather starts getting not so nice, they come back here and they live for 6 months and at least one day in their primary residence here. So it allows them that flexibility to now have that second home, and there's no mortgage on either property.
Wow. Great scenarios. A lot of thinking to do on that one, huh? Yeah. Hey, Scott, before I forget, how do we get a hold of you? How do we reach out to you?
So the easiest way is to go to my website, which is my name spelled out, but I'll give you one easier. Just say Reverse Scott, reversescott.com. That'll take you to my website at Loan Depot. But if you look up Scott Hoolahan, reverse mortgages, if you spell out my name, SCOTTHOOLAHAN.com, It'll take you to my website, but just type in reversescott.com.
I'm not going to forget that one. ReverseScott.com.
got
it.
That's fantastic. Hey, Scott, before we go off, I just want to thank you on behalf of this community. You do so much. I know you more as a person than what you do for a living, but you give so much back to the Santa Cruz community through the Rotary Club as a past president now, being president for 2 years, and different organizations. You are out and about at every single event in this community. We want to thank you for giving back to the community. You're nominated Man of the Year many times over now. And anyway, we want to thank you for all you do.
Thank you. Thank you, Kevin.
It was very informative.
You've been listening to the Senior Hour on your hometown station, 98.1 FM, AM 1220, KHTS. We are sponsored by Comfort Keepers in Home Care and Providence Holy Cross Medical Center. Now go and enhance your quality of life.